Hey everyone, Wander here, and welcome to Legends of Dragaea. It is an idle dungeon crawler, idle blobber, whatever you want to call it. And it is out on Steam today, so if you do want to pick it up and play it yourselves, just follow the link in the description below. I played the demo for this a couple weeks ago, really liked it, and yeah, now that it's out, I want to play a little bit more. So I'm going to mess with some things. We don't want to crank up monster strength, oh god, that'd be rough. I think I'm just going to crank up drop rates and guild points. And call it a day, because I don't need more money if I get really good drop rates. I could crank it up to like times 10 drop rates. And a little bit of experience is kind of nice. We don't need currency if I'm going to be selling items. It's tempting to go higher, but we're going to leave it as such. I had a previous iteration of this with much higher experience and drop rates, and let me tell you, it actually got weirdly unbalanced. So I'm going to be playing as just a regular human, Waken, but I'm in the game, so it is me, and our name is not Prudence. What is that? Get out of here. We are a Wabo, clearly. A prime Wabo. Oops. There we go. And we're good. Continue. Do we want to be Wabo the Waken? Yes. What do we want my banner to look like? Not that. Surprised rabbit. I might as well still pick wander colors for this. Let's pick the background, something a little bit better. More bunny. No, that didn't work. Circle? Something like that. Do I want to try one of the anything else that looks... I mean, the shield's kind of nice. I like the surprise bunny, it just doesn't fit. And I could actually go for like a really simple banner. Yeah, let's go for this, actually. That's kind of a Wanderbot. That's kind of a Wanderbot. All right. Or we're the Watchers. No, wait. We are... Actually, is Watchers? Watchers is kind of good. But no, we are Hench. Character creation is a bane of my existence. All right, so... Skip all tutorials. We do not care about them. We've built the guild house. We will build the storehouse. That's how we manage our items. We also want to go here, hire some adventurers. So we have Shellkin. Unfortunately, I don't think Shellkin can actually wear certain armor. While full, your block chance is doubled until you block an attack. Oh, they don't get any barrier per level, which actually might be fine. So we can also go for a Wulkin. So they're a big bruiser. We can go for an Impkin who's a caster. It can block physical attacks without a shield equipped. Sure. Let's get a turtle. Let's get an imp. And then let's go make them look pretty, because I don't know if I like the look of them. I don't know. They're Yuki. Oh, right. They're all like more Katsura. Sure. Go with that one. Let's see. Do we want them to be kind of more green? Okay, I'll work with that. Kind of hair color. It's weird to have a turtle with hair color, frankly. I don't know how to feel about that. Ooh, kind of like that red. Shame I can't change the beak color, but whatever. Okay, so yeah, they're tortoise demons. They can almost live for forever. Sure. So there's our tanks, or our tank, and then Nurgle. Oh. Yeah, that's kind of a Nurgle color. Do we want them to be Nurgle? No. Let's do Fenrir. All right, so dark skin, yellow eyes, white hair. Yeah, it should be pretty good. All right, there's our party. So let's go back to roster. We want to have Katsura and Fenrir. That's our team. So now, I guess we want to go here. We can pick up some quests. Hey, these spiky things. Teach me a cool fire spell. You take the quest from the board. You hear a youthful voice behind you. Mister, hey mister. You turn around but cannot find the source of the voice. Down here. I'm right in front of you. Your gaze falls to an Impkin child by your feet, dressed in noble clothing with fine embroidered stitching and a distractingly shiny golden ring.
You know how to use use magic, don't you? Pops forbade me from learning, but he didn't say nothing about hiring a tutor. Teach me one of them fire spells. I'll never earn respect if I can't do one of them. You fold the quest slip in half and pocket it. The impish boy grins before trotting to a nearby seat with an expectant gaze for his first lesson. Okay, and then cat out of the tree. As you pocket the quest slip and continue along your way, you nearly trip over a small Kitkin child. Her eyes well with tears as she kneels on the ground. You pause to make certain she's all right, offering a hand in aid. You're the one, right? You can save her. My Angela, she's stuck in a tree. As she offers her plea, a sudden wave of emotion overcomes her as she sobs and throws her hands into her face to hide. The calls for aid draw attention from the entire room as her cries quickly arrest every conversation. You quickly assure her that you're here to help. After making it clear that your next priority will be to help rescue her cat, the bawling tears come to an abrupt halt and a smile beams across her face. Really? Thank you so much. Means the world to me. Okay, so we're gonna get a lance up to level 10. And that should be good enough. Pick all of the other quests up. Not all of them have dialogue, which is good for my poor voice. Anyway, with all that, let's just dive right in. So, oh good. The shell can actually start with a lance. So we'll just keep them as such unless we get really crap items. However, I have such a high drop chance that it shouldn't be too much of a problem. Okay. So the reason why I set those settings in the very beginning, why I didn't crank the experience up too much, is because while the drop rates are good, the drop pools suck. And so I'm going to get a lot of trash items, and a lot of them I'm going to sell, which is why I don't need extra money. I don't want the extra experience because I don't actually want to outlevel the dungeon to the point where it kind of feels weird. And so I'd rather just have the option of being able to crank up my gear and equipment accordingly to have a somewhat more balanced vibe. Even if obviously I'm going to be swimming in good gear and equipment. I just want to have toys to play around with. The reason why I cranked it up so much is mostly just because I want to show off as much of this game as possible. We're still going to be mired in this dungeon for much of this video, but I don't want to like blaze past it in a way that feels wrong. This way we can just kind of simulate that I have really good luck with the items that I drop and get through things a smidge faster. So other things to note about this game is that there are a couple of different systems at play here. So obviously this is a fully idle dungeon crawler. I have no control over what's going on. We have random character abilities and they work off of their own cooldowns. So for example, my character has just slice with a sword. Every time they use it, it's 10 sword experience. And then I also have Hype Up, which is a racial ability that every, 30 seconds heals the party equal to my character's current level. So if he's level 1 HP to everybody. 2 HP. I think it's HP and barrier, actually. Yeah. Which makes him a pretty good, just generic team healer right now. Especially because we don't have that much access to, like, meaningful healing. So the other thing is we're gaining levels in the actual dungeon itself. So when this ranks up, we get talent points that I can put into drop rates, into more experience, into other things. We're also gaining dungeon mastery, which as this meter fills up, we can gain access to faster speeds for the dungeon, so we can actually run through it much faster. I think you also get the ability to like loop a dungeon like 5 or 6 times. There's a lot of stuff. It's neat. I actually think this is one of the more interesting idle games I've seen in a very long time. Unfortunately, like all idle games, there's a long period of time where I'm kind of just here. I don't mind it, but I don't know, some part of me always kind of bounces off of the full idle games where I have like no real management. I like it just because it's kind of a nice chill experience, but I also struggle with it because I do kind of look for a slightly more involved experience. I like the more incremental games than just idle, even though they tend to be kind of the same genre. They're technically separate. I don't think most people make the distinction, but incremental just means big number go, or big number get bigger, or just number get bigger, number go up. Idle is game plays itself, and clicker is you click to progress the game. And so most games in the idle incremental clicker genre all share all three of those genres, but not always. You definitely have some clicker games that are not idle. And you definitely have some incremental games that are not idle or clicker. And so it's always interesting to see the kind of push and pull between all of those. But so as a result, I usually go for the incremental games because those are the ones that I can actually, well, do things. Orb of Creation is probably my favorite example and one of the better ones. But you can also talk about like To the Core, which actually is one of the other better ones and is not very good idle. Except for a certain point where you get resources automatically, at which point it becomes very idle for certain things. All right. This is the kind of game that I'd usually bust out Picross, and I very well possibly might. As we get further into this video, Picross is just kind of my, like, hey, I'm killing time, especially during an idle game, where I have nothing to manage. The only reason why I don't want to do it now is because I actually could get killed here, and I don't know what the penalties are for dying, but I don't want to mess with it. And so I kind of want to get these characters into the point where they're starting to lose and then we bail. So we can go and get... so I can go and equip all of my new gear and equipment that I've picked up. So a couple of differences you might notice on the characters. We have two different health bars, barrier and health. So Katsura has no natural barrier gain, Fenrir has a ton of it. And Wabo is more health than barrier. I don't really know if there's like strictly differences on these. I like the idea of stacking barrier just because I think it comes back somewhat on its own. Maybe it doesn't. What are these guys' abilities? Well, full, your block chances doubled until you block an attack. That's pretty good. Just a dagger, and then we also have Dirty Stab, stab an enemy with your Dirty Claws, inflicting a status effect. Skills with Dagger Mastery. So that actually makes imps a little bit more focused on melee combat and roguishness more than anything else. I might not keep them around. I know they scale well with magic, but I want to say there was like, is it Kitkin? There's one that definitely scales off of magic better. And I'd like to have at least one damaging caster. Probably. But we can work on that later. I also really adore the actual, like, dungeon crawling ambiance to this. It was not a genre that I ever cared deeply for. I think my first introduction to the like, classic corridors and passages. Hey, we're up to ×2 speed. Uh-oh. Okay, we leave. That thing is way too strong for me right now, but hey, we've got some resources, maybe. Achievements. Find a mimic. Build a building in town. Defeat a monster in one hit. Defeat a monster before they can act. Revive a party member. Hire an adventurer in the tavern. So that's a bunch of money that we can work with. Let's see. Go back to town. Quests. So we can turn in Hedgehog Killer, which gives me another achievement, I suppose. Okay, next up. We can't upgrade any of these. We need to find bronzium ore and ironite. Because first question is, do we have... So there's a... I do actually like the Perkin. They are... I think a little flimsy, but they're good melee characters. So sure, we'll grab Tail. I think they're also a Perkin. Yeah, so you can see these guys generally wear light armor. So, yeah, Imkin are actually more of your classic rogues than anything else. Give them a dagger, have them get stabby. Good to know. Well, it's fine. Okay, so let's do some equipment management. So, cool things you can do with this. Katsura, wear best, but what is best? Choose for all stats. So we don't want Katsura to be wearing the lighter stuff. Definitely not robes. We want Katsura to be mostly tanked out and beefing. We want them to predominantly use lances, at least for now. We don't want them to use books or lanterns that much. And choose stats. Could do any of these, do not know which would be the best.
Yeah, physical block chance, magical block, physical defense. Let's just have them go tanky. Hopefully there's ways that they can draw things in, and we can have them do wear best. I don't think we got too many good things off of that for them. Fenrir, on the other hand, uses daggers. We want them to largely be wearing medium armor. And probably just melee attack. We got a better dagger for that. Let's see. I don't know what the difference is on some of these and what they work for. Okay, we have tail, but I don't think we're using them yet. We're just going to slap whatever we can on Wabbo. Wabbo's here just purely to crank up our expedition power, rather than go for a specific build. Now, unfortunately, I can't actually build anything yet. We need to get the Hertiporium, but I need a lot more Bronzium ore. Because I don't think I can just sell stuff. Oh, self-filtered equipment. Okay, so rarity. There we go. So that'll give me plenty of money. Yeah, hopefully we get the ability to buy raw resources later. So, a couple of things I can mess around with. We have this. So we can increase our encounter rate. Item drop rate, which we don't need. Treasure floor chance. Elite spawn chance. Mimic chance. I think I'm going to do treasure floor more than anything else. Hopefully that includes raw resources. Did these come back? Yeah, so it looks like we have a certain amount of utility items that refresh every time we come back. Nice. All right. And we're already up to ×2 speed, so this is going to go much faster. Kind of. And eventually we get up to ×4 speed, 6 speed, and 8 speed, but those are going to take a while. All right. Let's see. Well, do we want to bust out Picross at this point? Sure. I should be able to figure out if, oh. Bat. Oh, there it is. Picross. There we go. You might be wondering, why Picross? What are you doing, Wander? The answer is, this is how I play idle games, man. This is always how I've played idle games. Like, if I'm gonna be not playing a thing, let's see if I can mix. See if this works. Okay. Obviously, the window capture is not the most cooperative, but still. Just put this over here. It doesn't need to be too big. It just needs to be kind of present. There we go. So now you can see what I'm doing. Unless this window capture ain't working, at which point, who knows? What's a good angle? I also have to make it work on my end. This is fine enough. Alright, so if you haven't seen Picross before, it's effectively like a logic puzzle number thing, where you are filling in rows or crossing out rows or following various context clues to solve little puzzles here. So for example, this one means that there is exactly one filled in tile in the entire column, and since we already have that, we can just cross it off. This one being on the bottom means we can cross it off, cross everything below it off, because that means there's nothing else below it. This 3 has to be here, so on and so forth. This is just kind of a fun little thing that I pull up if I'm just killing time. It doesn't help when I'm like clicking and dragging and I miss, that I really wish clicking and dragging. Oh, I wonder if there's a way that I can actually pause. Go into options. When I click and drag, is there a way to make it so that it locks it into one direction? The answer is no. That's dumb. Why does it not have that? I have no idea. But I got hooked on Picross as a concept, as a game series. After playing Murder by Numbers with my wife years ago. It was a, like, Phoenix Wright style, sort of visual novel. It was really charming and had a lot of fun features. And so I guess I got super hooked on that and have since always wanted to play more Picross when I get the chance. So it's also like the one game that I always have on my Switch installed. but I usually pull it up when I just kind of want to kill time or just do whatever. It's unlike every other game where it takes like actual investment, even just to the point of launching a game for a little while. Like I recognize idle games fill this vein as well, especially the more like web ones, but at least from my perspective, going to any game and like kind of getting into the mental state of engaging with it, that takes some level of prep and planning. You know, if I want to play a long RPG, I have to load into the game. Now, some of this is tinged by the fact that, you know, I grew up in the 90s, and as a result, my expectations of like how you engage with certain video games, you know, having to worry about loading times and pauses and pause points and whatnot, has always kind of limited when I play games, because I want to give myself X number of hours to really sink my teeth into. I'm not going to play like 5-10 minutes of a game before I, you know, before I quit and move on. That's awful, and I hate doing that. I hate it when games kind of put me into that position. There we go. Oh, I just noticed Wabo's dead, so we should probably get out of here. What I get for being distracted. I don't think there's much of a penalty for losing, but it's still bad if I lose too many people. Okay. Let's see. Still haven't gotten enough bronzium, which is rough because that's what I need. Yeah, stores armor. Wait. Sells materials. Oh, but we need ironite if I want to get that one. But being able to buy materials is probably going to help because I have no idea how to get more materials faster. Go to hire adventurers. Still more Perkin. Oh, and our guild's full anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Alright, so wear best. Wear best. They have worn best. Alright, and that's about all they're going to be able to pull off. Inventory, we're just going to sell basic rarity stuff. We'll keep the higher rarity stuff just in case it's kind of vaguely useful. But at least for now, don't care. Okay, I got 2 points to spend on something. I'm going to keep going for the treasure floor chance. I'm seriously hoping treasure floor includes, like, ore nodes and whatnot. Just because. Okay, back to this. Oh, right, there's a timer on this one. Oops. I don't think I care. Let's see. There we go. Don't know where the last one on this is going to be. This is a 3. That has to be a 3. But that means that's locked off there. Let's see. This has to be a 3 here. Oh, this is just a 7. That's nice and easy. There we go. I'll admit, it is maybe a little distracting, so sure. Let's kill Picross for a bit, and I'll go back to actually just podcasting. It's fun, but not necessary for... What is it currently? Oh, it's just a freeze frame. Yeah, I think it's probably better that I just go for more podcast rather than Picross, because at that point I'm just playing Picross with this in the background. Easier for me to actually just use this as kind of a platform for podcasting more than anything else. I don't know. Yeah, there's so many different ways to engage with these games. It's just always a question, but at least if I was playing this on my own, I'd definitely pull up Picross and just mess with that. Or I'd be like working on a piece of artwork. I often, well, I guess recently I was, I've switched over to watching movies and television shows while I work on art, which slows me down considerably. But on the flip side, I do get a lot of, holy shit, these guys are getting kind of tanky actually. It slows me down, but it's kind of nice having background music going on, or background noise. We're watching X-Files, and it turns out I don't like X-Files that much. And so I was getting a lot of art done during that. And then we switched over to the Fringe, and it turns out I like Fringe, and so, I definitely was not drawing nearly as much on that one. But I feel like drawing and doing art while playing an idle game wouldn't be too bad. Maybe. I think the one problem is I get like hooked in, or I'd be too easily distracted because I'd have to take my hands off the tablet every once in a while. There are so many different, I don't know, ways of engaging, ways of killing time. This is something that I was thinking about recently, about how a lot of my adulthood has been spent somewhat focused on not being bored. That I'm pretty sure I have some level of an attention disorder. I've not gotten checked for it because I'm high functioning enough that it's not much of a problem. I do get distracted and I have auditory processing issues, but like, you know, apart from losing track of emails and certain tasks and forgetting about homework all the time, that was kind of the upper limit of what I ever had to worry about. It was kind of hell with homework, but so be it. I got better about it for whatever reason. I stopped forgetting about homework, but still don't know how I feel deeply. Oh, it's level. This is just our progress to the boss. So that's good to know. So actually we're about to unlock ×4 speed. But, you know, now that I have access to a smartphone, an endless number of, like, gaming handhelds, you know, or tablets and whatnot, I don't actually find myself in a position where I'm just sitting around with nothing to do. And I think that has been kind of a blessing and a curse, because I saw some people talking about this on Blue Sky. I think it was a couple weeks ago, but that because people are no longer bored, you're actually seeing a lot less people getting into like writing or drawing or reading or learning music. Gentleman hobbies would be another like way of putting it. That it's much easier to just consume media or the internet than have to, you know, engage with any of the engage with boredom normally. Okay, we're leaving because I think that's going to be the boss, and I don't think I'm quite ready for it. We could give it a shot, but eh. Okay, where best? Yeah, part of it is neither of these characters have been finding a whole lot of like new equipment. Ooh, iron axe. That's a big upgrade, I think. Okay. Now if I go to market, we're almost there. We could get the big smithy. This would give me armor and offhand equipment. That might be worth it. Yeah, let's grab the big smithy. What can we buy? Inventory, self-filtered equipment. We can sell our garbage. Kitsura. Okay. Dungeon rating versus EP. Okay. I could make it so that... Yeah, sure. At least for now, we don't need to limit them to any one specific armor type. Even though they get better stat points. Oh. Okay, actually, if you're going for the specific stats I want them to equip, then this is fine. Let's see. So what is the next? Blue. We have a couple of blue. Keep the rest. So if I do equipment, what's up with you? Oh, is it because there's no... It doesn't... Okay. I guess for this, we want to do just melee attack. Because the rest of this, I think we want defense. Might be worth actually investing more towards other things. Let's see. So if we want to do this, let's go for a block. What about these bronze gauntlets? 4, 6. I'll throw that on them. Yeah, so it seems like some of this is a little inaccurate. I wish you could actually set multiple stats, I think is the real answer. That each of these characters would equip for or prioritize. Because this guy, for example, could actually equip quite a lot of these. Even if they're maybe not the most amazing. Okay, hard boots. I'll get him the tier 2 stuff. Okay, what about the cotton hat? That's lance mastery more than anything else. Okay, that'll do at least for now. And I could actually just have them equipped for dungeon raiding, but eh. Okay, back to treasure floor chance. We're at decent levels. Droppable items. Dungeon monsters, we haven't seen anything else. Loot filter. Oh. Yeah, this is about as good as I'm gonna get. And at times 4 speed, oh, we can go. Oh, what topic was I talking about? Idle games and shoot. I got distracted. Oh, being bored. And so yeah, I haven't allowed myself to be bored much recently. So I'm trying to work on that. I'm trying to cut down heavily on pointless internet browsing. I still browse the internet occasionally, but it's mostly to read manga, nothing more. Which I feel like, I mean, it's still a massive time waste, but at least I feel like I'm getting something out of that. Used to read Reddit for hours, and that was awful. That was not worth my time. Learned some really interesting things about tree law, kind of, but that was about it. But yeah, so I'm trying to allow myself to be a little bit more bored, because it was getting to the point where, yeah, I wasn't even playing a whole lot of video games for fun, because I was afraid of, like, committing to them. Even though, like, I have infinite amount of free time, one of the sticky points on this infinite amount of free time was that I didn't know which direction I wanted to spend it on. You know, I couldn't really determine which games I wanted to play, and so I kind of fall to inaction, decision paralysis, comboed with, you know, I play a couple hours of a game and I'm like, yeah, I'm not really, like, vibing with this as much as I thought I would. I'm currently stuck in that state with Final Fantasy 13. I got it into my dumb head to play through every single Final Fantasy game, and let me tell you, some of them are good, some of them, not so much so. Obviously, everybody has their preferences, but, oof. I'll talk about this in a later video. But, you know, I wonder even with the idle games, and it's part of the reason why I generally don't even record idle games, idle games, or play them on my own, is because I feel like I'm very much just filling time, and at that point I'd be better off playing some other game. But on the flip side, there is a certain satisfaction to sending your party off on a dungeon crawl and then managing the loot and then sending them back again, especially if you're managing other games, hence why the Picross bit for a bit. But, well, that's kind of the authentic way that I would play these games. Maybe not so much authentic for other people. You guys probably, like, bring up something else alongside this. Or you're watching a YouTube video. Alright, we find the worm, we're fighting the worm. Let's go back down to regular speed. I think I can pull off ×2. We mostly need to know if this guy's gonna kill me. Because if he's going to wreck me, we want to be able to run. It actually looks like we might kill the worm. Because if I can kill the worm, we can throw this on, like, full auto. And not have to care about anything. Got it. Got some real good stuff. Got some real good stuff there. Alright. Cleared that out. So, almost have enough to get the Hurt Emborium. go back to this. So we've got achievements complete. No. Okay, so we've got complete that one, complete an entry in the bestiary, unlock a chest, and purchase an item. Okay, quests. Accepted quests. So worm kills, done. New rank, E+. Okay, we also got hedgehog kills. Oh, we've got this one. You send out Katsura to get the cat down from the tree. Katsura fetches a lance of notable length and heads to the tree with a small girl in tow. Katsura eyes the branches and decides it would indeed be too awkward to climb up, so they ready their lance in hand, guiding their reach with great care. They get the cat's attention and scared up to a higher branch. No, Angela, please! Noting the behavior of the cat, Katsura decides to guide it a different way, this time resting the lance on the base of its branch and pushing the seat lower to tilt the cat down. It hops into place, shifting from bough to bough until finally too frustrated to remain in the leaves. The girl opens her arms and calls out again, Angela, that's it, come down, just as the cat hops gracefully into the child's hold. The girl lets out an elated laugh while her cat purrs. Don't do that again. Oh, what I went through to find help. Thank you. Thanks for saving Angela from her tree. Still don't have the red magic. Should probably work on that. Okay, E+ quests. They scare me. Be my worthy opponent. Your finger barely brushes against the hanging quest slip on the board before a sharp and sudden shout startles you to your senses. You there! A voice behind you startles you, commanding you to turn and gaze upon an ancient shellkin. Samurai. You cannot be certain of his age, but a wariness in their eyes tells you he must have lived 5 of your lifetimes at least. The shellkin samurai bows low with a deliberate dignity. I'm Karamitsu. Send me your greatest warrior and allow me to test them. A proper duel between equals is all I want from this world. Rises to his feet, rests his hand on the hilt of his katana, and slowly turns without waiting for an answer. As you look at his back, you notice just how massive his shell is, as it obscures the rest of his body as he paces out of the front door. Your hand moves almost as slowly as his steps. Your hand moves almost as slowly as his steps as you pocket the quest from the patient samurai. Vampire lords, stop the screeching, help me restock my shop. You hear a loud and frantic clicking from across the room. Examining the source, it's easy to spot a worried-looking Woolkin lady, surrounded by several smaller Woolkin workers. You approach and can overhear a dreadful tone in their discussion. The lady looks to you directly and clacks in her native speech. Okay. Not even going to try that. A familiar word sticks out from the dialect, and you surmise her apothecaries at the potion shop have all taken ill and no experts remain to man the storefront and restock the inventory. You offer your service in aiding the shop's need for manual labor. The lady's coat of natural fluff seems to soften as she takes a calmer posture and nods politely. With a couple more familiar clicks, you can assume she is quite thankful for the assistance in such short notice. Find a quest slip on the board and take it down yourself, making the job official and trying your best not to butcher the language as you reply with your own Kitnikt and Dark Elf Griffin. Huh. Okay, so that's all of our quests for now. We do not have access to the Adventurers Guild progression system. We cannot upgrade any of these. We can upgrade the guild house. Sure. We now have access to abilities and we can change how our characters play. I think. Okay. So we have Chop, we have Hype Up. We have different racial stats, but we can't do anything with those. Hungry Chop. Power 47, accuracy and delay. Longer delay. Good with axes, but that's it. Okay, so I could actually throw on fire and switch to a little bit more of a mage build. I think I'm going to. Obviously, it makes my character weaker. We also have Holy Bolt. I gotta be level 10 to get more slots. Okay, this ability system actually seems pretty good. But yeah, we gotta go for Red Magic Mastery, so I might as well start turning Wabo into a caster, considering we've got automatic white magic just going on right now. And we already have 2 physical attackers, so I might as well have at least 1 mage. Unless we can, oh, we know the guild is full, so I can't get more people, I think. Maybe I can recruit another person at this point. Cuddlesworth. Oh, that's a name. But I was hoping to get... There's like another race that we haven't seen. The Kitsune characters. Alright. Well, what about Katsura? So we do have Shell up. Do I care? That block experience is good, though. So we do have Joust. Does more damage. But no, I think we want to stick to regular thrust. What about this guy? So we've got Stab and Dirty Stab. I think once again, unless any of these have a shorter... Ooh. Steal an item or Double Stab. I think I'm going to leave it as is. Just because I don't want to, like, tank my damage or power. And there's a lot of actually really neat abilities, but leave it for later. So, I'm going to need more of these materials. Yeah, let's go back to the plain caves for a bit. Oh, inventory is full. Huh. Didn't know that was a thing that could happen. I guess it makes sense with my drop rates. Oh, good. So, your inventory is full. Let's just sell the junk. Okay, go back to this. Wabo wear best. Okay, we did get the new better spear. That is good. What is this one? Max Barrier Katana Mastery. What about these books? Life Regen Lance Mastery. Red Magic Mastery. I think I'm going to throw this one on. It's worse, but gets me the stats I'm looking for. And we don't need Expedition Power specifically. That's just a vague judgment call more than anything else. You know, we could also go for, like, Dagger Mastery. There's not much for Dagger Mastery. Okay. Yeah, choose stat for all slots. I could also just go for, like, Expedition Power, but I think we're just going to go for melee attack for now. Just have this guy be mostly stabby. Kitsura. Can definitely get some better armor here, maybe. Somewhat. I think that's all of it. Okay. I think we want to just do a clean sell. Some of these might be good, but we're going to be getting so many items that we probably don't need to worry about it. Now let's go back to the plain caves for a bit. Put a couple more on this. We're up to level 12. So, enter dungeon. There we go. So we can actually have it go, like, twice if we want to. We're just only going to go in once because my drop rates are absurdly good. Wow. We, it's probably because of the gear and equipment I put on Wabo and Katsura, but boy, they got tanky. Fenrir is definitely going to need some better stuff. And my main problem is I need the bronze ore to be... Ooh. That was a fancy looking dagger. We need the bronze ore to be able to build the last couple of shops in the area. And unfortunately, I'm going to need like 15 or so. The way I can check. Legendary dagger. Ooh. That's got some good stats on it. Yeah, what was I going to say about boredom and other things? Idle games. And there's like a lot of kind of parallel topics to bring up with this. I was going to talk about not getting into blobbers. I think I'd started that topic. It was either that or that was on the previous iteration on this video that I didn't finish. Yeah, I didn't really actually play much for blobbers, dungeon crawl, like classic tile-based dungeon crawlers. Which is weird to me, because I'm a huge D&D guy, or tabletop RPG guy. I actually don't play much for D&D anymore because, ooh, found a secret. My problem with Dungeons and Dragons is Hasbro. I do not like the parent company. Like, D&D is fine, but if I'm going to be, spending a bunch of time and energy onto anything, I might as well spend it on, a franchise and a company that isn't kind of monstrous and, you know, fits kind of my identity a little bit better. And also just, I've been playing Dungeons & Dragons since I was in 2nd grade, which was... I was 8. I am now 35. So that's what, 27 years of Dungeons & Dragons? I mean, cut off a couple of years because I haven't played it. So yeah, 25 years in Dungeons & Dragons, kind of good enough for me. So I'm messing around with other settings. So like, right now I'm painstakingly drawing a massive spaceship. Because Shell and I watched Alien Resurrection, and ooh, I could actually like kind of ape blobber design kind of, and have like monster encounters be presented in the same like kind of corridor setup. Maybe. Okay, gear and equipment. Well, I guess first and foremost, let's clear this. Self-filter junk. We might actually want to just throw on the most basic filter and not even consider higher tier gear. Cotton shoes. Thorns, max life. Two-handed mastery. Barrier bonus, club mastery. Not actually particularly amazing, all things considered, but why are you not? Didn't actually get as much out of that as I thought I was going to. Physical block chance, or yeah, throw that on. We also have this one, but that's like white magic and staff mastery. So I think it's fine. Sell all of those. We can keep the rest-ish. Do we have enough that I can actually buy this shop? Yes. So that means I think we are done with that resource type. Yep, we're good to go. All right. So we are more or less done with the Plain Caves. Time to go to Sanguir Castle. Probably get our ass kicked. Ooh, hey, the new equipment on Fenrir has made Fenrir kind of tanky. Anyway, yeah, I am painstakingly going through and making a giant spaceship because Shell and I watched Alien Resurrection, Alien 4. Holy shit, these guys are kicking my ass. Okay, we killed one of them. If we could just kill the first couple, I think we're in a good position. But we might actually want to go back to, I don't know. I think we'll be fine. Caught the enemy unaware. I think we'll be fine here. I think the big issue, at least to some degree, is that Wabo is not built for magic and sucks with fire. But I don't think I'd have it any other way currently. I might look into other healing spells. Maybe. We will see. Ow. Oh, the giant bats have like a dodge. That's stinky. Okay, let's get out of here. So what items did we find off of that? Iron buckler, iron katana. Honestly, maybe not the best stuff. We might actually be better off going back to the Plain Caves for a little while. No. No. We're gonna suffer, even if it's gonna kick my ass. Because we want that iron ore. We can't make meaningful progress. Let's see. Our best. What about this? Max life, medium armor, physical defense. 2. Yeah, so that is actually better. Okay, it doesn't seem like we have too much more. I guess I could actually go back to the market. We haven't tried shopping. See if there's any of these that are good. Okay, these are just materials. Yeah, plain caves, worm's nest. Yeah, it doesn't look like there's much else for me to mess around with, so back to Sanguir Castle. Let's just hope we can live a little further. Because, yeah, I want to get up to this. But yeah, so we saw Alien Resurrection, and it just sucked. It was not fun. I'm sure it has its adherents, people who actually like that movie, but at least for us, I checked out on it very fast. And, like, we watched the rest of it, but there was just... none of the characters were likable. The plot was just a bad rehash of the first movie. Joss Whedon was the writer of it, which meant it had kind of awkward, creepy cringe. I'm not a fan of him. Like, he's okay for Buffy, but that's the upper limit of it, and even then, I am just realizing that so many Joss Whedon media things is just kind of him self-inserting in some weird way. So what was his name? Whatever the, like, generic human friend in Buffy, Xander, there we go, was straight up just, like, supposed to be Whedon, or kind of like a write-in of Whedon's personality, which makes everything about him as a character just bizarre and uncomfortable. Anywho. Ooh. Ore. We need a lot of that, though. We need so much ore. But yeah, so did not care for that movie the slightest. And I was thinking about it, I'm like, I bet I could actually make, like, a better Alien story than at least some of these series. Maybe not all of them. You know, obviously I haven't seen anything post-Prometheus. I think I, like, peaked at some of the more recent Alien movies, but I didn't vibe with any of them, so I just checked out. The most recent one actually seemed halfway decent, but it was, I don't know, I don't really vibe with stories about teenagers, and so it was like, I wanted to like it, but it was kids. I don't care about kids that much. I think a lot of horror movies kind of lose me just in terms of they don't have the most interesting casts. Predator is an easy example of this, where the cast maybe wasn't the most interesting, but I wanted to see how they'd fare. Because it made them compelling and interesting. Okay, so this might be one of those where Wabo gets wrecked. We're lucky we can... Oof. We're lucky we can kill one of the bats. But actually, it looks like they might kill me. Yeah, part of it is my characters can't hit them. Yeah, let's just get out of here, try again. I don't think we found anything good from that, did we? We did find a ring. Magic, power, and accuracy. Definitely him. Let me take a look. Skills. Sense, security, red magic. Up to level 6. Working on it. And pretty soon we'll be able to get this up to ×2 speed, which is going to make life a little easier. Yeah, I'm actually finding this pretty compelling, now that we've, you know, put some proper time into this. Let's see, what was I going to say about it? But yeah, so I'm designing a giant dungeon crawler to run as a tabletop RPG campaign with like a fully pre-built map, because all the previous campaigns I've ever run, I kind of build things on the fly. I want to start making effectively tabletop RPG campaigns that are Metroidvanias. Just build the entire sandbox, put together all the parts, encounter tables, random events, all that jazz, and then just let my players loose into that space. More upfront prep, but once it's done, I can just let it go until it's done with minimal interruptions. And I think for me that sounds really exciting, but obviously it's a lot of work. Anyway, so yeah, despite the fact that I'm like a huge D&D guy and tabletop RPG guy, blobbers, dungeon crawlers, not something I touched. For whatever reason, it's very strange. Because I would have expected to love this genre. I think one of my big problems is so many of the, I guess kind of, well, I mean the big ones for a while, at least indie game wise, like Grimrock's real time, and I hate real time dungeon crawlers. I do not enjoy, honestly, I actually don't enjoy real time for most games at this point. I'll put up with it if it's like a Souls-like, because it feels satisfying there. Ooh, that's a good one. You know, other such associated games, but like CRPGs. I'd never liked that CRPGs were real time. Because, like, I hated active pausing. It just was messy. I have advantage on this, and I think I'm still getting wrecked. We might kill him. Okay, we did get him. Yeah, the problem is, gives yourself haste. Oh. So actually, these guys just have, ooh, unicorn armor. These guys just have faster ability activation, I think. Hard to tell. Okay, stats, abilities, upgrade. Hard hood, medium armor, white magic. Yeah, that's actually good for him. Okay, which does more damage? No, we definitely want that. Seven defense, 7-2. No, this is better. There we go. It feels like we're not getting as much good stuff out of this one. But that might just be me. Adventure experience gain, mimic chance. I think we just keep going for the treasure floors. Because that's arguably the most useful. Do I want to potentially mess around with my abilities? Oops. The main question is, Fire Plus, huh? Holy Bolt, Protect. Revitalize and Heal. Yeah, power is 7. Times 1 magic power. Power is 5 times 0.2 magic power. But what is the magic power level on these guys? Oh, cool. So we can see the ones that they can actually equip. And what does EP mean? Oh, experience points? Probably. Okay, well, back into the castle. We're mostly just brawling bats here because we have no other choice. But yeah, I've been finding more games that are like classic good blobbers and kind of getting into them. The weird part is, and this is one thing that I think I'm getting stuck in on a lot of them, is that they don't have the most interesting build crafting or experience systems. This actually seems to be one of the more, I don't want to say like well-developed ones, but like the gear and equipment system seems pretty good. Obviously, it's a lot of linear upgrades, but at least it has the Diablo randomized loot to keep things more interesting. Comboed with more like freeform character building, which I think is really good. I'm so sick of RPGs where here's your fighter. They're level 1. When they go up to level 2, they gain a little bit of attack damage and health and maybe some defense. Oh, they're wearing a bronze helmet and carrying a bronze sword. You found a new town. They're selling copper, or not bronze, they're selling iron armor and a sword. Oops, it's a little too expensive. Go grind for some money to be able to afford it. Why do you want this? Because it is 20% better than your bronze equipment. That's all it does. It's not more interesting. It's not really meaningfully better. It's just you gotta make the number better so that you get over artificial difficulty humps. And like, my problem with that is It felt satisfying when I was playing Dragon Quest for the first time, especially when you're just starting out. I think that's it. When you're just starting out in these games and like you have Bopkis, you're running around with a Cypress stick, going from a Cypress stick to an actual freaking sword, that feels good because you've gone from a Cypress stick to an actual freaking sword. However, after you get past that point, it kind of sucks. It's not very satisfying finding, you know, gaining another upgrade. Going from +1 damage to +2 damage, or even +3 damage, that, like, you feel that. Or going from, like, an average 1 to 2 damage per hit to 2 to 4, that's doubled your damage. Going from 2 to 4 to, like, 3 to 5, that's a little bit better. You can notice it, especially if you start one-shotting enemies. But once you start getting up into, like, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 damage, stuff like that, you really don't notice the number differential at all after a certain value, unless you're like making huge leaps. And so what I kind of prefer with a lot of these games is after a certain point, they kind of soft cap. And then after that, it's much more focused on, it's a much more like soft cap on like what the gear stats are. However, then you get to the point where it's just like, okay, you've hit the upper ceiling. Some of these do more damage. Some of these do really interesting things. You know, crazy effects, proc abilities, strengths, weaknesses, changes to your attack patterns, any number of things. Because almost universally, that makes for a considerably more fun and more interesting experience. Let's see, inventory. Just in case anybody can use this stuff, there's the book. You know, honestly, I might slap this on. A little bit of life regen might go a long way, keeping Wabo alive. Because I think everybody else has some degree of regen, and that might be something to consider long term. Of just giving them all regen, because it seems like as long as you've got about the correct tier of equipment, you're pretty strong. But having, you know, even just a couple of points of regen, barrier and otherwise, means that you don't have to worry about attrition killing you. Which seems to be the primary reason and method in which I die. I just noticed that Wabo is almost 2 levels. Well, it's a whole level ahead. I wonder if that's a character perk thing. Or like a race thing. It might be. I haven't looked deep into it. But yeah, so I guess for the blobber thing, I'm just trying to get into more of them. I'm going back and playing like the OG Phantasy Star games. I don't think I enjoyed the first one as much. I got a little lost, stopped playing for a couple years, and then oops. And then I should probably play some more of the more recent ones. But I do actually really like the ambiance of like turn-based dungeon crawling. Oh, we're up to ×2 speed. This is going to feel so much faster. And yeah, we're not getting slapped around by these guys as much as we were. So that's a good sign too. What was I going to say about any of these things? I don't know. Just kind of here, enjoying at this point. I do like this. I think this is one of the more interesting idle games. Namely because I've always wanted to play more games like this where you are managing your adventurers more than anything else. That I don't necessarily need to be in control of these games to enjoy them. In fact, I think I'd actually enjoy them just as much, where I do all of the pre-planning and build crafting and whatnot, and then send them off and see how it performs. It's why I've really gotten into auto-battlers recently. Not so much idle games, but games where you specifically like build your army, you place your units, you've min-maxed their build as best as possible, and then you just send them off into combat and let them fight for themselves. Obviously, there is some degree of frustration around that, and sometimes human intervention really can make a difference. But I find a lot of battle systems to be kind of stale at this point. You know, how often does Pokemon feel good? It doesn't really. Which is why I think ZA is really exciting from a, like, mechanical perspective. That, I think it's switched to a more real-time with cooldowns. I haven't actually bought it yet. I want to, but I want to get a Switch 2. And I haven't got a Switch 2 yet, because Shell's like, you don't need one. And I'm like, but I do. And she's like, wait for a special edition. And I'm like, I don't care. But we're going to be visiting my family next month. And I might pick it up for that trip. Just so I have something slightly more ergonomic, because the Switch one feels bad in my hands. Might just be a me thing. I'm digging this ambiance, though. Like, I'd actually play way more dungeon crawlers, especially, you know, ones that play themselves, if they looked like this. It's just kind of a nice coziness. And yeah, giving Wabo just a little bit of life regen was all we needed. Eventually, I'll probably have them set up for, like, a full team heal position, where they actually have healing spells and whatnot. But we got to get up to level 10 if we want to do that. Oof. Kazura got wrecked. I guess these zombies are kind of stanko. And I don't feel like I've gotten a whole lot of iron out of this either, which is a bit of a surprise. One way or another, we're going to try our hardest to save up for a poison on enemy scales with black magic. That might be something to look into. Yeah, we want to get the iron so we can probably buy the material shop. I have tons and tons of money. And so being, well, extremely wealthy means I can just buy all the materials I need to upgrade the town. Because I think in the demo for this, it didn't require crafting materials at all to upgrade any of the buildings. And, yeah, might not be a bad idea. Oh, good. We're up to 10 magic. I might swap Wabo off of fire magic, or we keep it as such. I think I might. Or just stick to magic. Because I don't mind having Wabo be our team healer character. Yeah, for Katsura getting downed by poison, we're actually holding on quite well. I can't imagine it's gonna last. But we haven't gotten killed yet. Yeah, I think it's the multitude of zombies, especially if we can't kill them quick enough. Once they get that poison off, that's usually where we're in trouble. Yeah, I think this might be it. Ooh, that poison is extremely painful. And yeah, Wabo's completely down. So, yeah. Okay, we only have 5. Oh, it's fine. I need 20. Oh. Okay, ready to dive. Max Life Sword Mastery. We do have some lifesteal. Oh, have I not found any staves? Yeah, it doesn't look like we have any good staves. Some physical defense, or do we want to go for the lifesteal and the barrier regen? Eh. Okay. Magic power, magic power, melee accuracy. And agility, but I think I want to put that on this guy. Oh, thorns and reflect. So actually we have a better ring type. Not that thorns and reflect are particularly amazing. Okay, screw it. I think we're just going to have this guy mostly go for expedition power. There we go. Because it seems like he was kind of not equipping the right thing all the time. Do I want to do Thorns and Reflect? I still think so. I'd love to figure out how this handles, like, tanking. And durability and a couple other things, but it's fine. Okay, equipment. We want to go back to Wabo. Whoa. Yeah, I think we want this hard tum on. Is there a way I can, like, lock it? I think I'm going to lock it for now so it stops trying to unequip it. This tome is better. Is there a way I can sell it? There we go. It's better from, like, a stat perspective, but that's it. Okay, accepted quests. Killed a bunch of giant bats. What about these? Oh. You decide to instruct the boy yourself in the safe and controlled practices of red magic, guiding him to an unattended field not far from the guild house. You demonstrate the method behind conjuring a ball of fire in your hand. You lob it at a wooden target, wrapping it in a roar of flame. The boy's amazement becomes determination as you walk him through the process of conjuring his own flame, teaching him the balanced intent with calm focus. Yeah, this really isn't all that hard. The boy declares as a snap of energy strays loosely from his fingertips. Heart races as the heat that nearly singed his nose dissipates. I mean, of course it meant to do that, but now I got it now. Trying again, he summons a bit of energy and holds it in place before loosing it towards the target with a much more deliberate motion and a grin. There, see? I got it. Then we have to kill the four-headed worm. Where the heck is that? No idea. Could be in here in like a harder version of the Plain Caves. Ooh, I forgot about this. There's a bestiary thing. By defeating a shit ton of these guys, we gain stat points. So, tons of melee attack to all guild members. That's helpful. Okay. Do I want to switch up anything? Because now would be the time to potentially check abilities on Wabo. Oh, yeah. Let's go for Holy Bolt. I'm going to go full White Mage. I think we'll swap it around in a little bit. Well, do I want to do that? Which of these has the shortest delay? Yeah, Drain Life. So the problem with Hype Up is it's 10 white magic skill every 24 seconds. That's not amazing. So, yeah, we could go Fire, or we could do Ice Blade. Bit slower, a little bit more experience. Damage seems to be about kind of the same. Yeah, sure. Let's go Ice Blade. It'd be interesting to look at the other spells, is the one question. 5 stackets of poison on the entire party. So, if I want to do poison, we need black magic. Let's see. Going for Holy Bolt gives us access to the healing, which we want. Green magic. Is that a green magic? Yeah, green magic is a bunch of buffs and debuffs. So, like, haste is actually kind of good. And toxic. Weak confidence. So that's some options. We also just have devastation and gravity. I don't know. I think I'll probably stick with this for the time being. And pretty soon we're about to hit level 10. At least for Wabo. Because once everybody gets up to level 10, then we get access to our next abilities. Or our third slot of abilities, and so we can mix and match, either go really hard on one specific type or spread it out a little bit. I think I'd probably focus on one or two, though, I mean, having Wabo have some green magic in here too wouldn't be the worst. I think I'd avoid that until later. Because I'm sure it probably gets a lot faster later at leveling up a skill. Maybe, maybe not. Anyway, I guess with all of this said, this video has gone on more than long enough, so I might as well mention that Legends of Dragaea is available now on Steam, or at least will be within a couple hours if it's not out already. Highly recommended if you like idle games, highly recommended if you like dungeon crawlers, and you're fine not actually being in control for once. The build crafting is solid, the aesthetics are good, and it's just kind of a pleasant time. And there's a lot of fun parallel progression systems that we haven't even touched yet. There's a whole talent tree, but I need a lot more iron ore than I currently have. I actually haven't checked how much ironite I have. Maybe I should open this chest and then give it a look. Because I might have enough that I can buy. Nope. That was the... Oof, we are not getting a whole lot of iron here. That is for certain. Anywho, with all this said, I guess if you like this video in any way, shape, or form, leave me a like, it helps more than you know. And if you want to see more rad new games every single day, then hit subscribe because got tons to check out and show off. But for now, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.